안녕하세요. 한국 사람과 한국 학생입니다. Hello, this is the Waygookin again from Waygookin.com. As you can tell, the screen is black, so this is another one of my Blackout series videos where I address an issue, a topic that needs to be talked about, but does not need to be given a lot of publicity as far as the person who is the reason for this video being made. And if you don't understand that, then hopefully you understand when we get done with this video as to why this person won't get any attention. This video deals with a Korean rapper who recently decided that it would be a good idea for him to do a rap video using the N-word over and over again. I'm gonna kill you, N-word, I'm gonna do this N-word, I'm gonna do that N-word. In this video, he is surrounded by a group of young black men with a bunch of fake guns, looking like thugs and criminals, who apparently are co-signing this behavior. So many ways you can take this as to why this is wrong and inappropriate. For those of you who have studied Korean, there is a Korean expression, 내가, which means me or I. Clearly he was not saying this, it was clearly the N-word. So some people get confused by that. Some people may have thought, well, he was saying 내가, meaning me, but no, he was saying the actual N-word in this video. Obviously, this is not something that anybody should recommend doing. His friends maybe think that's cool, funny, it's going to get them some publicity. They're probably also not going to be there for him if he goes into the wrong neighborhood and gets jumped or shot at for doing this. Clearly, for those of you who don't know the history of that word, you really need to look up the history of that word. It's a long history, it's a complicated history because there's so many meanings as to why that word is so offensive. But if you don't know, that is the most offensive word in pretty much any language on earth. And so some people argue, well, who can say it, who can't say it? My suggestion to you, if you're a Korean person, if you're anybody who is not black, do not use that word. Even for some of you who may be black but don't look black, be careful using that word, because it is a very volatile word, and this is a very, very, very volatile time period in which people are living, especially here in the United States. It leads to a bigger question of just how racist some Korean people are. There are some Korean people who clearly take Korean pride to an extreme. Some Korean Americans do the same thing also. And so this is a word that they would use in private, but really it's not a word that anybody should use in public or private. For those of you who know me, who've seen pictures of me, my site, Waygookin.com, you know that I am a black man, but I do not go around using that word, period. So there's no way I'm going to co-sign someone of another race going and using that word either. Why would he do that? It got him a lot of publicity at the time, it got him a lot of attention. So unfortunately we live in a world where that's the main thing that people want, is fame and publicity and attention. But there's good attention, there's bad attention. Clearly he got a lot of bad attention from that. As far as the average Korean person, those of you who read my blog about do Korean people hate black people, you know that there's a lot of people, the younger generation, there's even a lot of older people who do not have a hatred for black people, especially the way that people have been brought up thinking that Korean people are racist, hate all minorities, which is not true. For those who don't understand Korean culture in Korea, there are about 97% of the people in Korea that are considered Korean, so only 3% foreigners or Waygookin. So you're talking about very homogenized society that was shown a lot of negative images and stereotypes of black people. Which is why in some Asian countries they have no problem doing things like blackface or mocking black people, because basically they've been educated that that is something that is acceptable. As time has gone on, as people have traveled more, as people have gotten to know other people and other cultures, other faces, other races, it has become a situation where more people understand that it's not a word that they should be using and that they should not be doing racist things. And so there are some people who get concerned about going to Korea. If they go to Korea, will they be the victim of racism and things like that? I'll go into detail about this in a future video, but those were concerns of mine before visiting Korea, and I'm not going to say that racism doesn't exist in Korea, because you have racists and idiots everywhere. But the racism, as far as what people told me about people possibly pointing at me, staring at me, openly mocking me, never experienced one time in Korea. All over Seoul, even going 4 hours south of Seoul down by the coast, didn't experience that at all. And so even in some of my blogs, you may have noticed I talk about there's a difference between Koreans in Korea and Koreans that are in America, and how sometimes Koreans in America can be very racist, very standoffish to many people. But there are many older Koreans that are in the United States who, yes, they're married to somebody Korean, but they have absolutely no problem with people of other races. So definitely the views of this young man who thinks that it's okay for him to say the N-word, talk about killing N-words, that is not the view of the majority of Koreans and of the majority of Korean Americans. So definitely, if you ever come across this video, because I'm definitely not going to link the video in this video, but if you ever did come across it, just know that he does not speak for the majority of Korean people on earth. Korean people, definitely, from my experience, very loving, very kind people. Some idiots, some stupid people, but we have them in every country, every race, every size, every shape, every color. But definitely, this person is an idiot. It did spark some hatred, and it did spark some conversation about, isn't this what all Korean people or all Asian people think and feel about black people? But it definitely is not. So please do not think that. Please do not feel that. Just know that some people are dumb, and their stupidity gets co-signed by people who are equally stupid, and that's the result of that video. So definitely, if you've seen that video, let me know what your thoughts were if you saw it. If you haven't seen it, even if you don't want to see it, just what are your thoughts about a young Korean man dressing up, being around a bunch of black men, pointing fake guns, talking about, I'm gonna kill you, N-word, I'm gonna do this, N-word, and just how you would feel if you saw him in person. Hopefully somebody has pulled him aside, someone has hopefully pulled aside those young men and told them that that's not cool, that's not a life that they need to be portraying, especially on film, because once that's on the internet, you can't get that off. So that's going to be with them for the rest of their lives, co-signing that, and him doing this very racist music video talking about killing people. So definitely let me know what you think. Also, if you want to see the blog posts, I'll link that in the description below. And don't forget to check out my website, waygookin.com. Thanks, and I'll see you later. 감사합니다. 수고하셨습니다. 안녕히 계세요.